and you're ready to hear it, and you're ready to do it to the best of your ability, then you need a guru. And not before that.
So when I've read that the spiritual master, one cannot become a spiritual master unless he's a Uttama Adhikari. But then it says the Vaishnava can become
Look, just pray to Krishna. Krishna, I want to surrender to you. I don't know what to do, how to do it. Please help me. And Krishna will help you. He'll give you intelligence and faith. Inside and outside, and through the Shastra. Otherwise, you're in Maya, you're contaminated consciousness, you're sentimental, emotional. Then now you're going to try to analyze who's on Uttam Adhikari platform, who's on Madhyam Adhikari platform. And then is he just Madhyam platform, or is he actually Uttam? And then he's stepping down to Madhyam. Right? How are you going to understand all of this? Later you'll come to understand it. Because one who has unflinching faith in Krishna and Guru Sadhu, Shastra, that's Madhyam. Minimum. And then someone who's Uttam, they just see that everybody belongs to Krishna, it's all going on by Krishna's energy, every soul is a servant of Krishna. They don't preach, because they know Krishna's controlling everything. Everything is Krishna's energy. All of these souls, they all belong to Krishna. So Krishna will do whatever he wants to do. Right? But therefore Uttam steps down to Madhyam. Because then Madhyam means you're preaching. You're understanding who's devotee, who's not devotee, who's envious, who's not envious, who's simple, who can understand it, who cannot. You have to make all of those distinctions. And without mercy of Krishna and Guru, and Parampara, you cannot understand all of those things. So one who's bona fide, authorized, empowered in Parampara, by mercy of Guru Krishna, he understands all of those things. He's realizing all of those things. But how do you know if he's realizing all of those things? Without Krishna's intelligence and faith, and without getting your own experience and the results of that association, you have nothing to really understand it or to measure it by. Right? Just like you take Jagannath Prasadam and all of a sudden it purifies your consciousness and you become spiritualized, Krishnahized, right? So how is that working? I don't know exactly, right? You may say, right? So how is it that this person is empowered or authorized? You have to see by the result. Because if you get a very good result, which is undeniable, that can only happen if Krishna and Krishna Parampara mercy is there. Because if Krishna never manifests, there's no results. Everything will just be the same. What changes is if Krishna comes, manifests. That's why I always keep saying it, the speaker must be qualified, but the hearer also must be qualified. So our challenge, I always say, is we have to be sincere and serious enough in our discussion that Krishna will understand that and manifest. Because if Krishna doesn't manifest, there's no change. There's nothing that you can say is undeniably different. And without that realization, you cannot make a distinction. You cannot see how this is different than that. So once you have Jagannath Prasadam, and then you have so-called ordinary Prasadam, then you say, okay, this is not that. The effects of taking this is not the same effects as taking that. So there's something different. So what's different is Krishna's there. Prasad means Krishna's mercy. So by eating that prasad, then you're getting the effects of Krishna's association. So bona fide guru means that by his preaching, he can make Krishna manifest. So if the guru cannot make Krishna manifest, then what's the sense of trying to be a guru? You see, when Advaita Acharya, when he praying to the Lord, he said, if I can't make you appear and to come here, don't give me this name, Acharya. I don't want to be called like that. I'm not Acharya. If you don't appear, don't give me this name. So when Krishna manifests, that result and effect is completely noticeable. It's undeniable. That's the difference. Then you can know the difference. Now I heard many Maharajas, many Gurus, and they're all trying in their own way, okay. But then I heard Srila Govinda's home. Then I saw, this effect is completely different. This is heaven and hell difference. Then I understand what is satsanga, what is satguru. And the difference between satguru, Janmi Prabhu said, and just ordinary guru. You judge by the results. But if you're not conscious or intelligent enough to analyze results, then it's going to be very difficult for you. Because you think, it's all the same. That's what they want me to say, that all the gurus are the same. That's why I'm not allowed in ISKCON. Only for that reason. That reason, and if somebody comes to me instead of them, that's another problem. I remember one Maharaj, his guru, and he was a friend of mine. I said, Maharaj, I'm speaking Guru Sadhu Shastra. What's the problem? And he said, yes, Murali, you're speaking Guru Sadhu and Shastra. I'm also speaking Guru Sadhu and Shastra. But the difference is, When you speak Guru Sadhana Shastra, people want to leave their gurus and want to go to you instead. So then I said, Maharaja, are you congratulating me? Is that like a positive thing? Do you consider that a positive? Are you complimenting me? So that means that's their anxiety. If everyone sincerely speaks according to their faith and their realization and their understanding, let everyone decide whether they like that, whether they feel benefited or not. I don't tell people, don't listen to anybody. When I come to Mayapur, I told our devotees, you go listen to this Maharaja. See the difference. Otherwise, if they're just listening to me and they never heard anybody, how can they compare? Right? They think maybe I have another guru, maybe there's somebody else, I just didn't meet them yet. Maybe I'll get a better result from somebody else. So to eliminate that, I said, go listen to whoever you want. See for yourself. And many devotees by the end are like, Maharaj, do we have to go to these classes? Do we have to listen to these people anymore? I wasn't telling them that. They were saying. Because they were not having same experience, I think. They were not getting same information. They were not satisfied. People have come to me and said, well, can I go to this Maharaj? I go. No problem. If it doesn't work, if it's not what you think, then come back. I said, I told the devotees, I already have everything signed. I'm not gonna make it difficult for you to, if you think someone else can help you, I'm not gonna stop that. Go try, see if it works. If it works, great. If it's not working, then come back. But why don't they do that for us, for me? Oh, you're an offender. You want to go to another Vaishnava. Right? You're aparadi. You have no permission to go there. You're banned from listening to that person. Why are they so afraid? That's the interesting question, isn't it? Are they insecure? They sound insecure. But what they do is they can't show you that they're insecure. They have to show you that they're just trying to protect you. You see, they're just protecting you. But if Krishna already convinced you and gave you intelligence and faith and a very nice experience, you don't need protection. That's why you're asking for permission, because you're already convinced. Right? If Krishna convinces you, why you need protection? If Krishna is inspiring you and giving you faith and a good experience, which is undeniable, and you're happy, and all your questions are answered, your doubts are destroyed, you get a nice result, what do you need protection from? Think about it. It's actually opposite. What they're saying is that you need protection from me, from that guru. You need protection from him. opposite. Just flipped around onto the other side. So now you have to decide. And now it's more complicated because now you're dealing with institution. See, for me, I had many different people help me spiritually in my life. So I saw how God is just working through these people. Right? They give you some hints, some ideas, some inspiration, right? So you just go with that, right? So why you're limiting God? Right? All of a sudden it has to stop with you? Maybe everything is there, maybe it's not. That's up to Krishna to decide how he wants to help me. If I'm fully satisfied, I'm getting everything I need, then no problem. If I'm not satisfied, I don't feel shelter protection, I'm not getting my answers satisfactorily delivered, I'm not getting my doubts destroyed, that means I need a guru. I need another guru who can do that job. Otherwise, I'm not satisfied. So I know what is my questions and doubts. And I'm giving all of these people opportunity to answer my questions, destroy my doubts. And one by one, they're not able to do that. So they tried. Thank you for trying. But it didn't work. Because I still have the same questions, I still have the same doubts. So I'm going to pray to Krishna to give me association with somebody who can answer my questions and destroy my doubts. That's my right. That's my responsibility. Oh, I don't want to upset anybody. I want to pacify everybody. Or I don't want anyone to get upset with me. I don't want anyone to be mad at me. I don't want to offend anybody. Then you just cheat yourself out of Krishna's mercy. Then you're a fool. I don't know. The way I looked at it is I know I'm going to pay a heavy price. Socially, institutionally. But I don't care. Because I know what's being offered to me. And there's nothing on this planet that I'm going to allow to cheat me from that. That kind of determination, boldness you have to have that. And then Krishna will help you how to deal with the whole mess. The rest of it's a mess. The rest of it is just the Maya, complication of Maya. So you have to, that's what I say, you have to decide what do you really want. The one thing that, even if I didn't know something, and I don't know what is my future, and I don't know what I'm going to go through, but one thing is Krishna always gave me intelligence to understand who in my life is he putting me in front of, that he's going to use that person to help me. That thing somehow I understood. I don't know what they're going to teach me. I don't know where they're going to bring me. I don't know what is the future. But I know this is Krishna's arrangement. So I'm just going to go with that until Krishna shows me something else. Or somebody else. That's why it says and it shows you have one Diksha Guru, unlimited Shiksha Gurus. Right? Why you're limiting God's ability, Krishna's ability to help you? So you're going to get bogged down in some institutional politics, and that becomes more important to pacify that than just seeing how Krishna is helping you and who he's using to help you. Some of these gurus say, okay, here's my approved list of who you can take shiksha from. And it's all their friends. Right? This is the approved list. Well, what if Krishna brings you to someone else who's not on that list, Maharaj? Then will you understand that that's Krishna's arrangement? And they don't understand. That means all of this other arrangement is materialistic. Because they don't understand Krishna's arrangement. If they really care about you, and they really care about your spiritual well-being and advancement, why are they not happy that you're getting mercy from Krishna Parampara? Why are they not saying, oh, you're so fortunate. I'm so happy for you that Krishna Prabhupada giving you mercy. Why are they getting angry? Why are they getting disturbed? Why are they getting agitated? Why is this inconvenient for them? Why are they threatened by that? Why that reaction? Why all materialistic reaction? Then you know what is what, who is who. So if you know it's Krishna's arrangement and you got mercy from Krishna and Prabhupada, and it's the happiest day of your life, why are you not happy for the happiest day of my life becomes the only question. If this is the happiest day of my life, I'm the most fortunate on that day that I met my Guru, and I consider that the happiest moment of my existence, the start of my life. Why are you not happy about that? Why are you opposing that? Why are you upset about that? Why are you not encouraging me properly? That means you have a problem. That means you don't understand Krishna's arrangement. That means you don't understand who Krishna is manifesting through. And that means he's not manifesting through you, Maharaj. That's what they don't want to hear. That's what they're threatened about. And unless you have this experience and realization, you cannot speak like this. You cannot go up against that. Impossible. So Krishna put me through all of that. Prabhupada did, to help me, to teach me, to train me. Because there'll be many, many people in the future who will be in a very, very similar situation. And they'll have the same challenge, the same contradictions, and the same tests of what do you really want? Make sense? All right, everyone. Thank you very much. You're leaving today, aren't you? Did you know he's leaving today? How many hours is it now?
I'm leaving at 6:30.
6:30. Okay, so now 1:30.
5 hours.
5 hours. Okay. A little less than 5 hours.
Yeah.
The clock is ticking.
4 hours, 56 minutes.
Tick tock. Any other question, Juan? You got all your answers last night, right? Mataji got all her answers last night. Yeah. Now you know what you have to do. Now you have to pass the next test. So pass the next test, and then more is revealed. Then you get more information. Then you follow that. And then you pass the next test, and then more is revealed. It's like this. It's one step at a time. It's not that, oh, just tell me everything. Because everything will change based on whether we accept and execute what we've learned. If we don't hear it, accept it, and execute it, then the instruction will be something different. Because there's free will. Everyone can choose to accept it or not accept it. So based on our accepting or not accepting, then Krishna will deal with us appropriately, accordingly. It's not just, okay, just give me one answer and that solves everything. Could be like that, but we're not on that platform. So you have to do it incrementally, step by step. So whatever you heard, try to understand it, try to digest it, try to realize it, try to practice it. Depend on Krishna, pray to Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. Krishna will remind you of what you heard. Oh, this is situation Maharaj was talking about. This is what he was talking about. Now I'm going through that. Now what to do, how to go through that. Now you have to apply it, what you heard, and you have to pass the test. Just like in school, right? You take the test. If you don't pass the test, you have to go back. Then you have to keep working till you pass the test. Then once you pass that test, now you have a whole other subject matter you're working on. Then you're hearing in the classroom, and then they're sending you out onto the practical field, and you have to apply it. Practical. Like this. In this way, step by step by step by step by step. Like this. Others will tell me everything now. How can it be like this? Right? Will you follow this? Will you not follow this? Will you cooperate with this? Will you not cooperate with that? Will you enthusiastically do? Will you hesitate here? So how you can say? So we have to pass the test, step by step by step. All right? One devotee who's brahmachari in Latvia, and he kept saying, I really have this desire, it's overwhelming me. And I said, what is it? He said, I want to be a financial planner. Right? And he's a brahmachari. And I said, well, then you need a wife. Right? If you're a brahmachari, you don't need your desire is not consistent with brahmachari life. So I said, how bad is your desire to be a financial planner? He said, well, very strong. I said, well, maybe you have to get married. He said, no, I don't want to get married. I said, then you have to give up your desire to be a financial planner. Because otherwise, what's the point of being a financial planner while you're a brahmachari? So for some time, he was like, okay, I won't think about financial planner. Then he still has this desire, I want to be financial planner. That means you need a wife, you need a job, you need money. Otherwise, what is your financial planning? It's all just like in the sky somewhere. Right? So step by step by step, you have to do. One good thing is the whole thing is going to crash. So that answers that question. Right? If the whole market completely crashes, that answers your question about currency, right? About investment. Right? When the bombs start flying and the nuclear missiles are going off, and which guy you're going to get to make an investment to Unless you invest in a nuclear missile system or something. Maybe you could work for the government and raise money and build, nuclear missiles. We'll get you a job with Gopal, That's scary. Gopal from Kolkata, right? Krishna. I hope he's not the only one making decisions, when to push the button, That could be scary, right? All of a sudden some nukes are heading to Pakistan, And like, what happened? Gopal got emotional, He was upset with his wife, he's just pushing the button, Krishna. Any other points?
Is George
4 hours and 45 minutes, yeah.
So, if anyone listens to any instrumental sound, so it is destroying bhakti. So,
If what?
if someone is listening to any instrumental music, so
Oh, we're back onto that instrumental music.
So, if I listen to George Harrison, so is it also materialistic or is it?
You can become a Beatle. You can become a rock star. How's that? Your next life. You'll be born in, England. You'll be playing in some pub somewhere, Let it be, let it be. This is for some brand new person. Are you like a brand new person? You need to listen to George Harrison. My Sweet Lord. My Sweet Lord. Many people, hippies, they became devoted because of George Harrison album. Because it was some spiritual topic stuff, right? And they were inspired by him. So this is like stepping stone. It's like the original bridge preacher. That's why you don't have to introduce any other thing. It's just automatically going on, You don't have to incorporate your bridge preaching. It's automatic.
And what is
But someone who completely surrenders to Guru Sadhu and Shastra, now they have to go take George Harrison as their Shiksha Guru. And listen to My Sweet Lord, just to be reminded about Krishna. Is this the idea?
So when I was listening to Srila Prabhupada's lecture, so he
You know that song, Here Comes the Sun? Here comes the sun. No, you don't know that one? That's about Krishna. He was describing that when the sun comes into your room, it's like Krishna manifesting and appearing into your life and into your consciousness. So when you hear Hari Katha, Krishna Katha, here comes the sun, right? That's the purpose of the song. Krishna manifesting like a sunshine. Krishna like the sun, Maya like the darkness. So
I was listening to Srila Prabhupada's lecture, and in his lecture he says that somehow or the other...
Is there any Hindi George Harrison? No? Just human, right? Just human.
So Srila Prabhupada says that somehow or the other way, we fell down from this spiritual world. And also he says...
What time are you leaving? Can we speed up the clock? Is this adjustable? Can we get him on a train? A slow-moving train?
And also he says that no one can fall from the spiritual world.
So how the hell did you get here?
There is no question.
So he's listening like every day, right?
Yeah.
He's got like 4 hours left, and he's thinking he fell from Krishna Loka. He had the Brahma, and he was a Krishna in Krishna Loka. And then he came to us, and now he wants to listen to instrumental music. And he wants to eat boga in the name of Prasadam. And he wants to do asatsanga and call it satsanga. Where did you go wrong, man? You were with Krishna and Krishna Loka? What happened? How did these impurities come upon you? He thinks he's like Arjuna, like he's eternal associate, and he's just coming to teach everybody how to be, a foolish young boy, a conditioned soul. He's going to teach us how to get out of it, right? Like Arjuna. Is that your purpose, why you came? To shower your mercy on us from the spiritual world, from Vaikuntha? Prabhupada says in his book, in conclusion, nobody falls from Vaikuntha. Enough said, right? Nobody falls from Vaikuntha. There's no Maya there. There's no modes of material nature. There's no enviousness. There's no material desire. There's no sinful desire. There's no sinful reaction. Krishna says, once you come to me, you never fall down. And 3/4 of the living entities, they never come to the material world. They're eternally associated. Nityasiddha, devoted. So, we're in the prison house. Now how do we get out of it? That should be our real concern, right? So
he writes that we have to go back to Godhead. So back to Godhead, sometimes I think that how is it already?
Because we're souls, right? Ultimately, Krishna is the source of all material and spiritual worlds. Everything, everyone is emanating from him. So the ultimate creator is Krishna, right? Let's say in the material world, like somebody is from one city, right? Then he goes to another city, and then he gets married there, and he has a child, right? But his father's house is in other city, right? So to go back home, back to Godhead, means to go back to the original place that he's from, even though he conceived you in some other location. You understand? So ultimately saying, let's go back to my house. Let's go back home, back to Godhead. So every other location, material world, Tasta region, Krishna's there. It's all Krishna's energy. Krishna's manifesting there in all regions. There's no place that Krishna's not there. But does that mean Krishna's original house? His father's house? You understand?
Yes.
Something?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Back home, back to Godhead means Krishna's coming out, collecting everybody in all other locations and saying, come back to my house. He may pick you up another place, but he's inviting you to come to his house and participate with him and his devotees there, eternally. Back home, back to Godhead doesn't necessarily mean your house. Back home, back to Godhead, right? That means Krishna is coming and delivering his devotees. Krishna says, I deliver my devotees. So when Krishna delivering his devotees, he's bringing them back to his house, back home, back to Godhead. That's Krishna. He's just going back to his house and taking you with him. Why are you assuming that it's you back home, back to Godhead? Think about it. He's delivering Patita Pavan, delivering fallen souls, and bringing them back to his house. Right. Because he's originally from there. Right? So he's just coming and collecting you and bringing you back there. Back home, back to God. Doesn't mean you were there before. But because it's very subtle tattva, it's easier for Prabhupada just to say, you know, you're coming from Krishna, let's just go back to Krishna. Right? Otherwise you have to explain how Krishna is manifesting into Balaram, and then Balaram is coming as Vishnu in the material world, and then manifesting in Shirodakshayi Vishnu, and then the Super Soul, and then by some brand new person who knows nothing. Right? We come from Krishna, Krishna is your spiritual father, he wants to bring you back to his house, back home, back to Godhead. Just like a very simple way of saying it. Make sense? So you have to just say according to that time. Right? If Krishna is coming, you know, as Vishnu, we're coming in material world, right? That's Krishna. Vishnu is Krishna. But how are those living entities manifesting there? How does Krishna do it? You would have to understand the whole science, technically. So it's easier to just say, Krishna is our spiritual father, he's the seed-giving father of every living entity, and we have somehow or other forgotten about him, and now we have to remember that he's eternal servants and serve him in this life. And then if you think of Krishna at the end of your life, then Krishna says, then you come back home, back to me. It's all true, but it's a very simplified, simplistic type of explanation, because the candidates are not sophisticated enough, or scientific enough, or spiritual enough to understand the details. So Prabhupada preaching time, place, circumstance, candidate. Just like Jesus is coming, right? He's preaching to the fishermen. So he's preaching very simplified truth. Don't kill anybody, you know, don't steal anything, don't steal anybody's wife. Right? This is like a really basic, most basic fundamental instruction, right? Because that's all those people can understand. Understand? Then you come to this philosophy, Achintya Beta Beta Tattva, simultaneously one and different. How do you understand it? Oh, Krishna's here, but he's manifesting everywhere, unlimitedly. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. What does that mean? Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, but he's coming here speaking Bhagavad Gita in the Bharatavash in India. Right, so how does a brand new person understand all of those things? And that same Krishna is in the heart of every living entity, in the hog, and the dog, and the cow, and the elephant, and the plant, and the tree. Who's going to understand all of these points? So, you know, what the teacher says in the first grade or the third grade is not going to be the same, especially in the postgraduate study. So you have to take all of those things into consideration. The Prabhupada said, but in conclusion, nobody falls from Vaikuntha. They cannot answer this point. This is the problem at that point. They never quote this point. My Gurudev used to say, if I say to you, you know, go to the store and buy apples, and then I call you back and say, no, get bananas. Then I call you back and say, no, lastly, get oranges. So what will you bring? You bring the last thing, right? That's the final thing. So in conclusion, he may say many things, put in time, place, circumstance, candidate. But in conclusion, nobody falls from Vaikuntha. All right? All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Shishi Gornitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Gaur Govinda Swami, Srila Gurudev ki, Samaveda Bhakti ki, I hope that helps you.